Hello, dear friends. Welcome to our presentation. I am Berceste from Turkey. I am a student of social work at Ankara University and at the same time PhD candidate. Now, my friend Kübra is going to make the presentation.
Thank you, Berceste. I am Kübranur. I am PhD candidate in Ankara University in social work department and at the same time research assistant in Maltepe University. Before starting, we want to present our special thanks to our Professor Filiz Yıldırım and also our classmates Eylül and Hilal. Now I want to start my presentation. Our presentation topic is an evaluation in the context of the ecosocial work on forest fires. Contents, the purpose and scope of the study, forest fires, causes and consequences, what is an ecosocial work, features of ecosocial work, what can be done, what can social workers in disaster, and finally, conclusion. Content and purpose of the study. The social work profession differs from other helping professions in that it evaluates the problems with the focus of person and environment. The emphasis on the environment here is generally made to include the social, economic, and cultural environments. In social work practices, the effect of the physical and natural environment on human life is generally overlooked. On the other hand, growth-oriented neoliberal policies, the unjust distribution of natural resources that have begun to deplete and increasing structural inequalities have brought up the search for solutions on sustainability and the prevention of global climate crisis. Therefore, these issues have made it necessary to expand the boundaries of the individual perspective within the social work environment. In addition, the various effects of environmental problems on several population groups have made an inevitable contribution to the fact that the subject began to be associated with the social justice and the profession to adopt an ecocentric understanding. To preempt, environmental crisis, poverty, and social crisis are in a dynamic interaction. The damage of one causes the damage of the other. From this point of view, it is claimed that adopting a holistic social work approach that aims to accept a balanced and fair approach for the entire ecosystem. This approach has been conceptualized as ecosocial work. In this study, environmental problems and ecosocial work are discussed in the context of forest fires. Because forest as being considered one of the most important natural resources that provide ecological, economic, and social benefits with its biodiversity, their destruction or disappearance with land leads to ecological, economic, and social effects. So it's regarded important to examine the issue in the context of ecosocial work and to discuss the roles and responsibilities of social workers in this regard. And all right, forest fires can cause to air pollution, loss of vegetation, decrease in diversity and spread of harmful species. Wild animals burning or death due to respiratory failure, damages of habitats, depletions of food sources, to immigration, disruption of the balance due to spread of undesirable species, and stress in reproductive processes. So what exactly is an ecosocial work? Ecosocial work evaluates humanity in a more holistic understanding by considering it in a reciprocal relationship with the natural environments. Ecosocial work, instead of human-focused approaches such as sociocultural in traditional social work, adopts concepts that reflect interdependence, integrity, and sustainability. And ecosocial work has certain characteristics. These are environmental sustainability and degrowth, a holistic worldview, opinions of indigenous people, universal citizenship, ecofeminism and critical approaches, redefinition of well-being, and multidimensional practice. And thank you for watching us. It's Berceste's turn. She will continue the presentation.
Thank you, Kübra, for your contribution. And now let's look at what are ecological crises, what are their effects. In recent years, ecological crises have occurred in the world that negatively affect the social and physical condition of people, and they became more conspicuous with the increase in the frequency of climate changes. When we look at it, forest fires are seen in many parts of the world, and as a result, many living things are damaged. Let's look at the world map where forest fires have been occurred in 2021. You can see the names of Canada, the USA, South America, Albania, Africa, Greece, Turkey, Italy, and Russia. Situation of Turkey. In recent years, one of the climate crises that have also occurred frequently in Turkey is forest fires. As a result of the forest fires that broke out in Manavgat on 28th of July 2021 and spread to many cities, many animals lost their lives, wild areas, economic activities, and habitats were damaged. The crisis, which is considered to be the biggest wildfires witnessed in the history of Turkey, is stated to occur as a result of climate changes that accelerated with industrialization and developed anthropocentrically. What can be done as social workers? What can we do? The importance of social work theory and practice in ensuring and physical-social well-being of individuals emerges especially in the experience of disaster situations. However, studies draw attention to the limited social work interventions that come to the agenda only in certain periods when a disaster occurs. Disasters that cause serious damage to the well-being of individuals, families, groups, and communities, especially in which the poor, women, children, and the elderly are disproportionately affected, change the social order. Researchers have shown that natural disasters have very complex and long-lasting effects, that the recovery process is intertwined and complex with all other social, economic, health, and environmental challenges. Taking the needs of vulnerable segments into account, they are acting with a holistic perspective in micro, meso, and macro level interventions. In addition to physical social support of disaster victims, social workers will play an active role in meeting individuals, families, and groups with the resources they need before, during, and after the disaster, in line with a specific plan. That social workers are mostly prepared for short-time relief effort after disasters, that the social work interventions that were brought to the agenda were limited to certain periods when the disaster occurred, that there is relatively less focus on long-term interventions. Nevertheless, the participation of social workers in disaster situations, such as evaluation, counseling, physical social support, advocacy, community reconstruction, service provider, lobbying, and assistance and advice in forming necessary policies are increasing day by day. Social workers in disaster. In addition to their traditional roles listed in the previous slide, they need to act with an understanding that focuses on the interaction with the environment, care about people's dependence on other living beings. Social workers before the disaster can inform individuals and communities in the area where the disaster may occur and mobilize the necessary resources in cooperation with institutions for the well-being of all living things that may be harmed, and then they can evacuate the area during a disaster and then ensure the living standards of all living things at a minimum level. And at last, they can act as a mediator in supporting and strengthening the disaster victims, the entire damaged ecosystems, and direct them to the necessary institutions. When the studies are evaluated in general, it is seen that the instant effect of the forest fires are given much more importance. The long-term and various dimensions of the fires are not adequately examined. The studies on the prevention of fires and the studies to be done with post-fire circumstances are insufficient. As a result of forest fires, in addition to human serious damage to many animals, plants, wild areas, dwellings, working and living areas, as well as people, also indicates that the personal environment approach in social work will not be sufficient because it ignores the natural environment, and it is important to deal with it with an ecosocial study which has a more holistic perspective. And thank you all for watching and listening to us.
Thank you.